for joining. Today is June 14, 2023, and this meeting is for our real estate agents just to bring you guys up to date with our news. And we have a few topics that a few of you guys asked for. So hopefully, this will help a few of you, our agents here. So let's get started with our LJ weekly meeting. So the interest rates are did not change much from last week, but they're still on the high end of 6.71. This was according to Freddie Mac. So according to them, was 6.71. This is for one family. When you have a good credit score, if you have worse than this, 740. Not a lot of people have 740. So when you have lower than that, obviously you will pay a little bit higher interest rate as well. This is for conforming loans that they're within the guidelines of the government. So you're looking at around 6.71 as of last week for them. But more accurate is our mortgage news daily, and that interest rate is showing at 6.98. Again, this is for 30-year fixed, one family when you have a FICO score of 740 or above. If you're looking for FX sense, because it's around 30 basis point lower, so 6.68 for FHA and 6.98 for your conventional. Absolutely makes no sense to get ARM. You can see 6.95. So for realtors, when you're speaking to your clients, if they, just mention, hey, the interest rates are high, they're high, uh, but it depends on your situation. Do you still or not? And we'll give you reasons. But we know that the interest rates are a lot higher than where. So these are a few of the headlines that was in the news. So number one, inflation rate hits 2 years low. About that in a few minutes as well, and mortgage rate lower but finishes high. So it started when we got our CPI, but then end of the day we just saw that it was at 6.98. So it's still on the high end. So the good news is the inflation, right? So for past couple of years, what the government has been trying to do was increase the interest rates so the inflation can go lower, right? The reason they want to do this, otherwise the dollar's value will not stay. So let's look at the table here. So first on the bottom, you see for year 2022 that you saw it was at 7.5, 7.8. This is 8 of 2022, right? And then in June of last year hit the highest at 9.1. This where everyone was panicking because the inflation rate was so high, right? So this is when they started going really hard with the interest rates. Every meeting that were they were meeting up, the Fed was meeting up. They were increasing the interest rates, not just for the mortgages, but overall market. They want to slow down. They wanted less buyings, and that has worked so far, as you can see. We are in June, but we always go a month before that, right, for the stats. So we hit 4.0, and this is for May of 2023, and this is the lowest one in last 2 years. So there's some positive news on this, right? So from January until now, it's been decreasing from 6.4 to 6.0 to 5.0 to 4.9 to 4 on the dot now. And for next one, reading is going to be on July 2nd, 12th, sorry, July 12th for the June's reading. And hopefully it decreases a little bit more. So it helps with the economy as well. When the inflation is lower, all the business owners, all everybody, even yourself, when you're buying, milk or any groceries, if the rate is going to be 50 cents higher, you probably not feel that 50 cents. But when it comes to percentages, it's a lot higher. So they're trying to reduce that. And there's a meeting today for the Fed. They're meeting around 2 p.m. And let's see if they actually increase it or they simply say that we're not going to increase the interest rate uh, as of today. Let's see what happens later on today. But inflation dips to the new low ahead of the key Fed decision, which is going to be today. Okay. For realtors, when you guys see the CPI, it means consumer index price, and that is what is controls the inflation rate. So you probably see that in a lot of articles. But just pay attention to the news today, guys. Probably it doesn't matter what type of news channels that you watch. Everybody should be focusing on Fed meeting. So you, as a realtor, should know what's going on in the market, even if you're not a loan officer, and it will help you. Okay. Inventory issues again. This is from Housing Wire, Housing Market Tracker. Inventory disappoints again. Again, there's a reason for this. The reason is like some of you guys own the house as well, and we have a problem. And this is according to this article. It's called "Housing Market Has a 6% Problem." Right. So what does that mean? That a lot of homeowners have nearly 92% of the homes with mortgages have rates below 6%, right? So there's no way that if you have lower than 6% that you're going to sell that house, right? Or try to upgrade to a new one where your interest rate is going to be higher than what you're currently paying, right? More than 92% of have rates that is below the current weekly average. We just saw that according to this article, but we just saw that it was 6.9 as of last week, right? More than 9 out of every 10 homeowners with mortgages have interest rates below 6%. So it's a huge numbers. A lot. It just doesn't make sense when we as realtors speaking to the homeowners, hey, do you want to sell the house, and not acknowledge this that they have a problem, that it's going to be hard for them to sell that property when they're locked in at such a low interest rate during COVID time, around 3 or 4%. Anything below 5% is going to be hard for them to make that decision. And you can see majority of Americans right now with homeowners have below 6%. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So, realtors, right? We should know why people move. The interest rates are so high. Do people still want to buy houses, right? If they fall into these three categories, there's a good chance they're going to make that move, right? Number one is getting married, right? If it's a guy or a girl living with their parents, they're getting married, they probably, if they are, financially set, they probably want to buy a house. That's their ultimate goal. Hey, we are married, we're renting right now, and we want to get a property for ourselves. You as a realtor, some of you guys through that transition now too. Hey, I've been renting, but I have made good money last year. My wife makes good money, and now I want to buy my first house. Some of you guys already past that stage, and you guys want to go to the second one. Hey, I want to buy an investment property. So that's exactly what you want to do. So why people move? Number one is they get married, and number two is the quite opposite, divorce, right? So if you're married, things are not working out, you're going to be separating, probably need to, one of you guys needs to, case might be one partner stays, one partner leaves, but you as a realtor can come in and help them find a property, right? Or the third is having children. So if they have kids and let's say they had 2 bedrooms before and now they guess what, sell that, right? So it might be even the interest rates up. But if they have that kids issue and the kids really need more room, you as a realtor gonna come in and help them out. Okay. And according to Jessica here on the bottom, is saying exactly these three bullet points. Right. There's a lot more reason for people to move, right? It could be job related, it could be a lot of other things. But married, divorce, or having kids are the biggest three factors. Right. Any questions so far, guys? All right. So as realtors, you guys should know what a home is, right? What does it cover and how much does it cost? So this is a very, it's you a realtor selling that property, right, to your buyer, and buyer has to get home insurance, right? So you guys are not licensed home insurance person, but you guys should know at least some of the terms, some of the have some sort of idea that hey, you need home insurance and why you need it and what does it cover. How is that different from home inspection that our Mr. Hassan Razad does here, right? So home insurance is needed for every transaction. It protects your home and some more. So let's talk about that first, right? So you just purchased a property for $500,000, right? $500,000, and you have a mortgage on it. Your bank will require that you have insurance. But let's say bank didn't require that. Wouldn't you get home insurance? Insurance is something that you never know when it's needed. Years can go by and you have insurance and you have no claims, which what you want, right? But at the same time, if something happens to the property, it could be fire, it could be any of those things, and you have to rebuild that property. You're not gonna bring another $500,000 from your pocket. There's a good chance you don't have that. So that's why you need insurance, right? So if you own a house and you have home insurance, there's a page called a deck page, right? A declaration page, which will have your coverages. This is the most important page. Usually a home policy has like 90 pages or plus, but you're going to look for the deck page. In that deck page, there's five coverages that you guys should know, right? So number one in section number one here is called dwelling. This is the property itself, right? This is the actual dwelling, this is the walls, this is everything that's built for that property. So if you as a realtor are selling that property for $500,000, does not mean that this piece right here needs to be $500,000. This is just to how much it is to build that property again. So in this example that we're using, we're saying that it might cost $460,000 for your dwelling. So God forbid it sets on fire and the whole house is burnt down and you have to build it from scratch. The company that you're paying the insurance to will pay up to $460,000 to rebuild that property, right? Number two, letter B is going to be your other structures. This is usually the garage and is usually the 10% of dwelling A, right? So coverage A here, dwelling is $460,000. Other structures, they 10% of that, which is around $46,000. If anything happens to your garage and you need to rebuild that, they'll pay up dollars. And then letter C, you have your personal property, right? This is everything that's inside the property. The way we look at it, if you were to flip your house, if you were to pick it up and then you flipped it, anything that falls, right? That's going to be covered as your personal property. Okay. So that's your belongings. This is your TV, couch, anything that's in the property, that, right? But most of the policies, when it comes to cash, they only have about $1,500 limit, right? So they're actually there besides your jewelry or cash or any high-end item. Let's say you have a wedding ring, right? And the wedding ring is $10,000. It will not get covered unless you actually tell the home inspector or the home insurance broker that you need to cover that, and they can add that towards it. But standard is your personal property, whatever's inside, that's your letter C. Then in letter D is loss of use. So let's say the house was on. Yes, Mr. Hassan. Yep. Sure. Single family, you purchase a house for $500,000, right? The insurance companies, they, yeah, let's say it's $500,000 for a single family, or even if it's $600,000, right? The insurance company for dwelling it will not put $600,000 here. They will say that we just need to know how much it will it cost to replace this property, right? To actually rebuild this property. The cost to actually rebuild it, not the market value that you paid. Okay. So the dwelling is usually less than you actually paid for. Okay. All right. So this is the well important one. How much is going to cost to rebuild? The second is your garage. The third is your property, the personal property, the things that's inside your property. Then letter D is loss of use. So let's say your house was, God forbid, it was set on fire, that's burned down, and you can't live there now. You have to rent another place. So for loss of use, your insurance will up to $138,000 for your loss of use. But just know that, hey, you cannot be occupied at that property. So whatever you're paying out, your policy will cover that. Okay. Next is your section two, letter E. That's your personal liability. So let's say there was a snowy day and you forgot to, shovel the snow and someone slips and falls, right? That's your most common example. They slip and fall and they sue you now, right? If they sue you, this insurance company will cover up to $500,000 for you, right? So $500,000 is covered for your personal liability. Another scenario could be like, let's say you had a party, or you had something going on at the house, and one of your person that came in, they actually fell on the stairs, right? From the stairs, they basically slip. They can they're gonna sue. So they once they sue you, you're gonna be covered through this coverage here, personal liability, right? What we recommend is at least $500,000, but if you want to go up to $1 million, that's even better, more protection for yourself. Okay. And the last is your medical payments, and that's up to $5,000. These limits will vary from carrier to carrier for sure, right? But you want to compare those. We do some policies here where someone says, "Hey, I'm paying only $800 for my insurance, and how come you guys giving us a quote for $1,200?" Right? So what we do is that we want to look at the old deck page from their carrier, and we want to compare it. What we usually see is the dwelling value, right? If we are covering 460, we want to make sure that they also had coverage for 460. If it was like 280 and we have 460, we're not comparing apple to apple, right? So you want to make sure that every time you doing it for your client, or if you're looking at your own policy, just look at these coverages and see if you are happy with the coverages that you see there, right? So the price range for insurances typically is around $1,100 to $1,500 for a single family. Anytime we get quotes from different companies, and if it falls under this price range, we're pretty satisfied for that client. Falls above this, then we say, hey, let's different companies and see why. If everybody's giving on the high end, maybe the property is, maybe that's the whatever's the lowest, they'll go with that. But if it's under between 1,100 to 1,500 for single family, it should be fine. And for two family, you're looking around 1,500 to $2,000. These are good price ranges for New York, especially in Queens, a property that we see here. Questions, concerns, guys? Any homeowners actually have homeowner policy, right? You should have a home insurance policy, and review this and see if these are your coverages. And if your client asks you, hey, I need home insurance, right? Guys, we have an in-house company here for LJ Insurance, right? So just like how we have the mortgage, LJ Mortgage team, we try to give you the best, loan officers with all the different programs. We do the same thing for our realtor. We have, 70 plus agents now. We have been, this is one of our oldest company. So we're really expert at this when it comes to home insurance, right? You give us a quote, tell you within, we would say within 48 hours, because we want to at least have 4 to 5 different carriers. So we are the brokers. We send it to different wholesalers and we say, hey, we need price quotes for this home insurance. And this person is going to be closing in next 30 days, 40 days. So you as a realtor have a backup for your clients. Hey, you can shop around for your home insurance. I can also get you home insurance quotes from our company, right? We have LJ Insurance Agency, and you're going to take this number down, 516-218-1161, and just text, hey, client who needs home insurance, what do you need for the quotes? Our team, we need, the property value, and they have access to property shark geodata as well. So these guys or gals, they will do the research, fill out all the forms that we needed, and we keep you updated. Hey, for your client, James, we got this price quote. For Singh, we got this price quote. So whatever the case might be, we'll try to get it done within 48 hours, and those are realistic numbers or days. So usually, like I said, when it comes to home insurance, you guys are just sending it out. They're just like, out of the blue, they're calling Geico, they're calling, this and that company. We can get many quotes for your clients. So we ask for your business. So next transaction that you have, you're under contract. Once you're under contract, let us know about this so we can get you some price quotes. More importantly, any questions on the home insurance aspect? I ask you, hey, what is the difference between home insurance versus home inspection, right? The answer should be the home inspection is going to be before the contract, and you want to find out the condition for the property, right? There are some things you just can't see with your naked eyes, but these home inspectors, they are specialists, right? They're looking inside the property, they're looking at many many different factors that you cannot even think about. They give you a full report, so they're finding the condition for the property for you. But once you're under contract, before you close, your bank will need a home insurance. So you don't want to wait until last minute. So you want to do this once you're under contract, you shopped around, you have enough quotes. So once the loan officer says, hey, I need your home insurance, your client is providing them the lowest price that he got, right? So guys, if you guys need to get a quote, please call or text 516-218-1161. All right. Next, let's talk about some security issues, right? We're seeing a lot of spam, a lot of things going on where people try to spam every single day, right? You get spam in your email, um, you know. So when you're signing into different accounts, it's just not our personal account or business account. We want you to do this for your personal too. So this way, every time you're logging into an app, the system actually knows as you, right? So we have enabled that for your Outlook and Teams. So next time, if you're logged in to your browser, you probably don't get this message. But if you are signed out and need to sign back in, you're probably going to see this message saying that you need to add Microsoft Authenticator or Google Authenticator. So this way, every time you're logging in with your password, the system is going to give you a code that you type in, right? So, what are the steps? One is that even if you have an iPhone or Android, you're going to go to the store and download Microsoft Authenticator app. It's free. Once you download it, you open it, it's going to ask you, is it for work or school? You can, this is going to be your login to that. So, you don't have to use the work one, you can use your personal email. So, once you're logged in into your Microsoft uh, Authenticator app, right, you're going to open up, is going to say open up your camera and QR code. A QR code looks like this, and you're just pointing your camera towards that, and it's automatically going to give you a code, right? So let me show you on my phone here if you guys can see it, right? So all these codes that you see here for one of the apps, all you're going to do is just click next and type it in. So this way your account stays secure. No one else can log in. Even let's say, one of I have the password for some of you guys. So this way we have no security issues, right? If you want, or you should already, as long as you know your systems, change your password. More importantly, have your authenticator. And don't do this just for our Outlook, guys. Any app, just secure yourself. There's too much risk. Just like without this two-step verification. So please do this for every app that you use. So these programs are free. It's called you can download Microsoft Authenticator or Google Authenticator. It looks something like this here. and you can see the downloads here, over 100 million downloads. So you know it's something essential for your security. If you guys need any help with that, you contact me. But just know that it's just a two-factor authenticator apps that helps you stay secure online. Okay, pretty straightforward, guys. So we want to just remind you guys, next is LoopNet, right? You have your clients that needs commercial, anything when it comes to commercial, think of LoopNet. Hey, they need to buy a property, LoopNet. They need to lease an office space, LoopNet. Anything that comes to commercial, got to be loopnet.com. Very simple, straightforward. Type in the address of the area, and you will see the listing that's available. Just like how we have our other MLS, LoopNet is something that you guys got to remember that we have. Okay. Real quickly, some of you guys are a little confused with your websites. Again, ljagent.com is for your agents, right? For our agents, this is your resource center. Let's say you need to contact Hassan, for a home inspection. His information is there. You need an attorney, information is there. You need to do a survey, their information is there. All the contact information for our agents, ljagent.com. And for yourself, it's going to be your name dot ljrealtyteam.net. So let's say it's Saab here, so saab.ljrealtyteam.net, right? Brian Prince, you just put your name here dot ljrealtyteam.net. Okay. Some of you guys are having issues with dot loop. Once you're sending for e-signatures, right? You see these fields here, guys, right? When you see these fields, when you click on the first one, on top it says assign to, and then select the name that you want to send to. But if on the bottom here, if you're just having one person sign, click on the second field and click on this X here. So this way it removes it. System knows that no one here, you already had your client signing here, and that's more than enough. Okay. If you guys know how to perfectly assign one field, you can do multiple. If you guys need help assigning one field, please let me know, so this way we can educate you guys, bring you to up to bar, and we know that we're on the same page here. So clicking on it, assign to, find the name. If you want to remove it, click on the X here. Okay, simple as that. Everyone should be using dot loop. Some of you guys know, we know the activity there, we know when you logged in last time. Dot loop is very expensive software, right? We spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on this, along with KV Core and others. But we see our agents activity. When we see that, hey, you have not logged in 100 days, there's a good chance that that account gets deactivated. So please just use your apps that you need. But dot loop, when it comes to all the paperwork, you want to use this, guys. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Other tools we mentioned in the last meeting, you guys gonna need to be expert at this with the comps. But in geodata, one of our agent mentioned, asked if you see comps, right? You see a comp on or you see a value on geodata, does that show, or does that have any idea that the property was renovated or not, right? The way we look at it, whatever price you see there, most of the time it does not include the renovations, right? Because it's pulling public data, and usually the renovations that happened in last year are not updated accordingly. So if you see a property that is fully renovated and is listed for $650,000, and then you go to geodata and geodata says nope, it's at 590, right? So if it's at 590 and you see is listed at 650, you have to be that judgmental, like, hey, renovations were done, and maybe you know this one is not included in geodata here, and we have to price it accordingly. If you feel like as a realtor that the work that they did, right, there's a new floor, new kitchen, new everything, that maybe they spent $50,000, then you would add that $50,000. So 590 plus $50,000, you say, hey, maybe 640 I'll put in the offer even though it's listed as 650. Make sense? So when you're looking at the comps, don't assume that your renovations are included in that. At the same time, some of these guys do really half-ass job where um, kitchen is half done. The floor, you can really see that it's squeaking even if it's brand new, so maybe it needs more work. You can see type of work that is being done when you actually showing them the property, and you see the pros and cons, right? But just know that you guys have free tools, geodata, and you have your RPR through one key. Okay. With these tools, this was another article here that I sent a screenshot of. And being a real estate agent, right, is the best gift you can give yourself. This is basically, you chose a field that was a little different than others, right? Instead of working elsewhere, maybe you do have a part-time or full-time job, but you guys are really, can be an expert for your clients, right? They're looking for that guidance. You guys want to be there, right? But when it comes to some of you guys, over promise and under deliver. You want to do the opposite of that, right? It got to be under promise, over deliver, right? You want to give them that wow factor. How could you give that, right? If you're speaking to a brand new client, right? They say, hey, I'm looking for 3 bedroom, 2 bathrooms in Franklin Square. You should be sending them links in the next 15 minutes. That's how you can really blow them away. Instead of saying, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. No, you're looking for in that area. In the next 15 minutes, you're going to get a link. You're going to send it through KV Core. And once they start seeing it, they're going to start looking for the property, and you're going to start showing them, right? So it got to be under promise, over deliver. And this is how you're going to get your referrals. Okay. So next we have our calendars. We have our calendar links that we said, even for brand new agents that's joining, we have our agent Navpreet Kaur. She does the onboard training now. So if you guys want, even of our old clients, sorry, agents that wants to do the onboarding training once again, you guys can click on this and we can start from scratch, and she can show you KV Core, Dot Loop, and all the other tools if needed, right? If you need to reserve the conference room or reserve the desk, you have links for that. Or if you want to have a meeting with me, online, offline, you have option for that as well. All these links are on our ljagent.com. Okay. Again, agents that has not closed the deal yet, right? Agents that do not have any under contract, right? Deals that's under contract. It's not required, but it's highly recommended that you join one of our teams, right? The reason being is that if you have zero of everything right now, these leaders can literally put you on the map of getting started, right? They can guide you with KV Core, with Dotlu, with leads, with following up, showings, going under contract, and taking you from under contract to closing. Yes, I'm here, but some of you guys with these team leaders, you'll get to spend a lot more time with them. Okay. So for our team purple, Ansari Ali is the team leader. Please, if you can, take down his number, call him, text, tell me about your team, and I want to get started, and go from there. So we already went with the pros and cons, everything that has to do with the team leaders, responsibilities. So we're not going to go over that. But this meeting, I just want to give you their information, right? So you can start contacting them. So for Mr. Ali here, his number is 718-316-0375. Okay. Like I said, he's really experienced. He focuses on listings. So he can really be that helping, guiding you guys all the way. Experience speaks a lot. That's why he was our number one choice. So please speak to him regarding this. Next, we have our team gold, and this is for Rupinder. Her number is 347-553-7705. Again, you're going to call her and say, hey, I haven't closed the deal yet. I'm new to LJ, or I've probably been with LJ, but I haven't closed yet. I want to join your team. what do you have to offer, right? And you have that conversation with them. Maybe you guys want to meet up in person in our conference room here, perfectly fine. Schedule something so this way we can get started with our teams. Then we have the leader is Hassan Raza. His phone number is 917-624-6311. So write it down if you want to contact Team Green, Hassan. Good thing about him, again, he's getting his mortgage license, but he's already a realtor and he's already a home inspector. So he knows everything about the properties, really expert at his game, and he can really help you, close some deals. Advertises on Zillow, so gets leads from there as well. Last but not have Team Blue, and by leader is AP Arshdeep Singh, and his number is 631-836-5130. Again, he's a young gun, but really he knows his systems. He's really active. He pushes. He really gets deals done. Really aggressive when it comes to that. So highly recommend that you contact him as well. Right? You can contact all four team leaders and ask them. Just see how you feel towards them. Right? Maybe some of them you will feel more positive than others. You are the person that's going to be deciding. Hey, I want to go with this team. Right? Once you make that decision, if you want to leave that team later on, you can. But once you join, you have to join another team. So you just can't, get out of it just like that. But at this stage, the best thing to do is call them first, see what they have to offer, see if you can set up a meeting to meet in person in our office or elsewhere. Set up that, and then just see how that goes. Again, they'll be telling you as team members that we're going to meet up on a weekly basis, bi-weekly, virtually, in office. Every team will be different, so see which one actually goes with yours, liking, and then you go from there. Any questions, concerns on that, guys? Okay, so once you do join, there are team channels in our Microsoft Teams, and they're called in-house teams, and one is general, and we have our team, team blue, gold, green will have access to this. And once you join the team leader will notify me that, hey, Prince has joined this team, Omar is on this team, Gagan is on this team, Saab is on this team, whatever the case might be. We'll actually add you guys to those teams. And our team members that's right now are on level 2. I highly recommend that once you have few more deals under your belt, once you're hitting level 3, you want to consider maybe creating your teams in our next batch that we make, right? Once we have enough team members coming to these team leaders are good, then eventually we want other members to actually make their own teams down the line. Okay. And on our mortgage side too, guys, we're a growing team. Mr. Philip Belay is the latest one to join our team. We have few more coming. We have 3 more in the pipeline, including Mr. Hassan. So our team is growing on our loan officer side as well. So these guys are getting leads from Zillow. Some of you guys doing the splits with us on Zillow. So as a realtor, you're spending $500 mortgage team, splitting half of that, and those leads are going to our loan officers. So Josh and I are not calling any of those leads. They go to our loan officers, and the loan officers are contacting you, right? You, the realtor. Hey, we got this new. The name is Bob Jones. Did you speak with Bob Jones yet? And they're gonna try to find out from your side, and then they're gonna call the client Bob Jones and see what is their status for their mortgage side. Do they need pre-approval letter? Do they need just a pre-qualification? Do they need second opinion? Whatever the case might be, the loan officers are contacting them. So I'm pretty sure our goal is that by the end of this year that we hit 20, that we might hit 20. So just expect more loan officers to contact you guys to build relationships. If you want to meet up in person, really fine. Could be in our office or elsewhere. As long as you guys are networking, that's a good thing. You want to work. You want to pick few loan officers as well. That hey, I'm really comfortable with Leo. Or I'm really comfortable with James, and and start sending them files. I need pre-approval. This client, what do you need? Or this client just needs a pre-qualification. What do you need? So they can James or our one of our can contact that client and get that file moving. Okay, we're trying to get better at this. We're trying to cut down time. um, Anytime you need a pre, get it done the same day. We're trying to teach our loan officers as well, that we want to provide service. There's no kickbacks. There's nothing in return for the realtor. The thing that we can give you guys is going to be the service, right? If we are pleasing you on the service note, your clients are going to be happy. You're going to be closing deals quicker. So that's the our ultimate goal. There will be some clients that simply wants to work with other loan officers. We never will force them, right? If they want to go elsewhere, that's if they don't want to work with us for whatever reason, that's fine. But we know that we have the best packages, right? When it comes to interest rates or different programs, we're the brokers, so we're sending our files to so many different wholesalers, and they're competing with themselves as well. So end of the day, with all of this, your client wins. When they simply go to one bank, the one bank is going to be charging whatever they want. But when we are doing it as brokers, we're shopping around trying to compete and give them the best rates possible. Okay. And we have added a couple of new companies from last time. So, we're always on the broker side adding. So the mortgage side, any question that you might have, hey, my client wants to put down 3%. Is that possible? You can call one of our agents and our loan officers and find out as well. Any scenarios, build some relationship between these two companies will go a long way. Okay. Any questions, concerns, anything on your mind, guys? Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if he's going with so this is government stats, right? These are government stats that when a person goes to a direct lender like Chase or Bank of America versus a broker, doesn't have to be us as broker, it could be any broker, their savings are at least $7,000. It could be from origination fees, it could be from overlays, whatever the case might be, right? Around $7,000. But what we want, let's say your client goes to Chase, let him go to Chase and get a loan estimate. As long as he gets a loan estimate where it's not edited, right? There are some loan officers out there, they're editing these loan estimates and then giving to these guys. They should not do that, right? As long as it's not edited, and we will compare that with ours, our companies, and will definitely beat it for sure. If there's another loan officer, or sorry, another broker that we're competing with, right? So it's not Chase. Let's say your client goes to another broker versus us. We're still beating them. Reason being is that we have a buying power, right? So we can offer a little bit lower interest rate per file because we have accumulated some points on the side, especially with UWM, this company here, right? We can't do that with everything, but this company allows us. So let's find got interest rate of 6.5. Maybe we can offer them 6.3, 6.25. So we have those buying power as well, right? So you want them to compare it. You want them to go to Chase. You don't want, because they're getting a 30-year mortgage, right? We want to do the right thing by them. I don't care if it's a family member, if it's an outsider, if it's going to be a one-time transaction. They should compare it and say, hey, this one actually makes sense. And we just right here, we tell them, hey, every little fee that you see there, we will give you explain every little thing. Other loan officers, that's what we hear. Like, hey, here's your loan estimate. Take it home, and you guys do that, but we'll tell you guys exactly what you're paying for. Our loan estimate also, right? The government doesn't allow you to change numbers, to increase numbers. So what we do is we usually put the highest prices plus. So if we say that your closing cost is going to be $20,000, but when the closing disclosure comes in, it's usually like 18 or $19,000. It's a little bit less than what we promised, right? I feel like that's the right way of doing it. You don't want the closing time comes and say, "Hey, we promised you 20,000, but no, but you need 22,000," and he's gonna say, "Where am I gonna bring that $2,000 from?" Right? So you don't want that happening, right? Yep. So yeah, let them compare. So yes, Mr. Hassan. Mhm. Sure. Sure. So he would need to basically, it depends on the assistant program that he's getting. There's some assistant program will say, hey, these are the guidelines, and then you have to go with these lenders. There will be some programs where our lenders now, we have some companies like this one here, EPM. They have a program where they give 2% assistant, right? 2% grant, right? So there's a lot of programs. So your loan officers is the perfect person to guiding them. One, when they meet up with the loan officer, they can find out how to qualify without the grant or without any assistance program, and then how much they actually need. So that setting up that first appointment will go a long way for your clients. When they're coming in, they get to know all those information, right? Because we had, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So just know for qualification, yeah, for qualification, most of these assistant programs, right? They go one of the qualification is usually whatever your area medium income is, you need to make less than that. So we just had a client not too long ago, came back and said, "Hey, I really need assistant program, but he's making, $140,000." There's no assistant programs if you're making good amount of money. Assistant programs are there to help out the people who are in need. So if you're making below your area medium income, there might be different assistant programs, but the loan officer will give you all the guidance on that note. Right? Yeah, yeah, no problem. Any other questions, concerns, guys? Right? So we spoke about all these things, guys. The only takeaway I want you guys to take is basically for being a realtor, being under contract. Let's say I have seen it with so many different agents already, right? Where just getting in motion, like, hey, I have a deal under contract, right? You have a client, goes under contract, closes. Once you close, you make a good amount of money, then you pause for a couple of months, right? And then you're looking for one more and trying to grab that. I feel like you could never make a real profession out of that, right? If you really want to make good money out of real estate, you have to start working and make sure your pipeline is filled, right? And the pipeline should be very simple. How many clients I have, how many under contract, and how many I'm going to close this month. Even if I'm closing a month, that's 12 closing a year. If you're doing that, you're way above every average realtor. Average realtor is closing one or two deals, right? They have a license. I have a half time, a full time job or part time job, but I'm gonna just make close one or two deals, and I'm okay with that. I feel like you're wasting your time as well on that note, right? You have the tools, you have the, all the tools and the knowledge that we're trying to give you guys. You have your support from our company here. There's no reason for you not to close a lot of deals. So it should bother you that, hey, I only have 5 clients. If you have 5 clients, maybe you need 10. How could you get 10? You need to start putting the word out there that you are a realtor. You need to, do some advertisement. It could be social. It could be anything that you want. Maybe you need to stand somewhere and give out your business cards. It could be anything that you want. Just set a goal that, hey, I need enough clients, right? For in order to go to under contract for one or two of them. Once you're under contract with them, you know for a fact that you're not closing that deal this month, right? Typically will take about, 30 to 45 days. So you need to have enough in your pipeline all the time to make that transition to being a full-time realtor. And you guys all have that, capability of doing it, right? But it's just a matter of just putting in the work. So if you guys need any assistance on that note, please ask. If you guys need to join a team, please join them, right? You have everything that's needed. Let's just get some deals done. There's no point of joining these teams, learning all this if we're not getting some deals done. Any questions, concerns before we get going, guys? All right, guys. And one last time, please support Hassan Raza as well. For as soon as you have your offer accepted, call him, say, hey, I have this property. We need to do home inspection. How much it will cost? If we support each other, we all grow, right? So instead of giving business elsewhere, let's give it to our partners here that can help us and guide us, right? On that note, if there's no questions, we'll get going, and I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday. Meanwhile, if you guys have any topics, anything that you guys want us to go over, feel free to send it in the chat box or send me a message directly. All right. No problem. Yep, no problem. Thank you guys. Take care. Yep, you're welcome, guys. You're welcome. Take care, guys. They were good? Yeah, it's good. Yeah, so did you talk to Bhuvan again? Or? I didn't get a chance. Did you speak to him? Or he's not I picking up? Tried so many times. I think Josh gave us that lead, no? Yeah. Talk to Josh. See if he can call him now. Okay. All right. Right? That's Yeah, okay. No problem. Yep, yep. Yeah, Everything else good? Yeah, everything's good. Yeah, actually, I tried to call him many times. I texted him, he didn't reply. Yeah, so, sometimes these guys are not like, they want to sell and then they get. Yeah, actually, he distributed someone else before, like a month ago. Then he just. He dropped it? Or he's yeah, he just dropped it, I guess. Okay. Yeah. So let's compare that to the price and everything, see what it was listed for, and see maybe he wants more or less, but see if Josh can call him. Sure. Yeah.